Coach?
Thank you. Well, it's good to see everyone. Hope everyone's had a great summer. I'd like to really thank you for your interest in Sunbelt football. I think it's at an all-time high. And obviously, this time of the year is very exciting as anticipation kind of fills the world of college football for our respective football programs. So you have many options and really appreciate you being here today. I'd really like to start the morning off and kind of start talking about Arkansas State, our journey, and our team. For everyone that's kind of followed our journey, it's been a very tedious process. And if there was ever an example of that motto, trust the process, I think our football program at Arkansas State would be very fitting of that. You know, I look back and you heard Commissioner Gill talk about his tenure in the Sun Belt and the growth and development. When I look back 4 years, you know, we came into this league and we had to completely rebuild a football program, and we're coming off the heels of COVID. And also, there was no transfer portal as we know it today. It has been a true lesson in humility, perseverance, stubbornness, and really being intentional in every aspect of our program. As a staff, we were coming into a league that really was very well-established programs with veteran players. But overall, coming into the league was going through a monumental identity change. And again, Commissioner spoke about the recent success of the last 3 years, and I think a lot of that had to do with it. And you say, why the identity change? Well, I think, first of all, new coaches entered the league, what used to be called as the Fun Belt, and outscore people 52-51. There became a monumental change from a philosophical standpoint of the brand of football. I think institutions made incredible commitments in terms of their football programs, their resources, their facilities to really take the next level. And this drastic change really has really formed what I feel is the most comprehensive, most competitive group of 6 college football league in the country. And again, I keep referring back to Commissioner Gill and everything he spoke about. You know, the challenge is the day-to-day, schedule. Everyone asks me, what's the difference between Power 4 and Group of 6? And we don't buy our 4 wins. You're a byproduct of your scheduling, and we're living that. We have 6 straight games to start the season. We play 2 formidable opponents in an SEC program in Arkansas. It's the first time that Arkansas State and Arkansas will play. We're able to do that in our state capital of Little Rock, which I think that's what college football is all about. And then we get the daunting task the following week to come back at home and play a Big 12 powerhouse in Iowa State. And so everything is about your scheduling and moving forward. You know, I think the dynamics right now as a coach, you're really faced with a challenge. Are you building a program or are you building a team? And that's a challenge in the landscape that we're in. But we take great pride in our growth and in our development. For us, it's relationships over transactions. It's true connection. And we really made a commitment to build our program through the high school recruiting and build our program the way we have always built programs. And it starts with the people first. It starts with the culture. It starts with your principles and your values. As we embark in year 5, like I talked about, it's been quite a journey. We're only one of 4 programs in the country that have increased their win total over the last 3 consecutive seasons. With our 8 victories last year, that tied us for the 3rd highest win total in our 33-year history of being an FBS member. Our bowl victory over Bowling Green was our 5th bowl victory since joining the FBS. And again, I want to say thank you to the 68 Ventures Bowl. What an experience for our fans, for our administration, and for our players. And to go in and play a talented team like Bowling Green, I thought we played our best football game of the year. And just their experience and what it meant to those seniors to leave Arkansas State with a victory and a bowl championship. That meant everything, and I'd like to say thank you to them. You know, we pride ourselves, like I talked about being a developmental program, but also having an NFL pedigree and being NFL ready. We'll have 4 players off of last year's team that will be on NFL rosters starting at training camp here in the next few days. So lots of momentum and excitement in Jonesboro. But let's talk about this year. The challenge for us, amongst many challenges, is how quickly can we come together. I think that's the whole key to the drill. And when you look at it, we have 60-plus new scholarship players. We only have 5 returning starters in our entire football program. We did a study on our current team of what we call 100 competitive reps, and that's 100 competitive game live situation repetitions that we have amongst players that have played at Arkansas State. On offense, we have 9. On defense, we have 4. So a lot of challenges in moving forward. Last year, we were 7-1 in one-score games. That's a direct correlation to connection and trust. And, you know, no 2 teams are ever the same. That's what makes being a college football coach. You get to reinvent yourself every single year because no 2 teams are ever the same. Faces change, identities change, leadership opportunities. Brandon Barnes is a great illustration. He's only in his 2nd year in a program, and he was a key contributor on special teams, part-time player at the safety position. Now he's a full-time starter. So that's exciting. The expectations change. He changes. In his 2nd year, we're asking him to be one of the leaders of our defense. And so that's what makes college football exciting, is no new teams are ever the same. I think we've been very strategic with the portal, and we've been able to address our needs, but also solidify our football team. In terms of people make a place. We have some staff changes, and it starts on the defensive side of the ball. Our new defensive coordinator is Griff McCarley. Griff was with us. He was our linebackers coach. Prior to that, he was a linebackers coach at Ole Miss. Excited about his leadership in really rebuilding our defense. Jalen Ortiz is our corners coach. He comes to us from Utah State and Nevada. Kwame Adjaman is our safeties coach. He's had the same path as Jalen, Utah State, Nevada. So we have established chemistry already on the defensive side of the ball. Rashad Pittman is our defensive tackles coach, longtime junior college defensive line coach. Excited about him. And then his counterpart, coaching the defensive ends or the edges, is Larry Knight. Always excited that you're able to continue and grow our coaching profession. Larry was a player for us at Central Michigan. He was a grad assistant for us at Cincinnati. He was a grad assistant for us at the University of Tennessee. And then Larry kind of ventured his way and was a D-line coach at Georgia State, was the defensive line coach at Georgia Tech, and was a defensive line coach at Temple. So excited to kind of bring him back into the family. And then Dakota Tillman will oversee the responsibilities of special teams. And make no mistake about it, we win games on special teams. The last 3 years, we've been ranked in the top 5 in total composites of special teams, and that's a big part of our DNA and who we are in terms of special teams. Dakota was our assistant special teams coordinator last year, so he's very familiar with our expectations of what we expect in terms of that. Also with change, the dynamic of change in terms of our administration. Being at Arkansas State, I'm going on my 4th athletic director, 2nd systems president, and 2nd chancellor. And I am been never more excited than where we're at. I know Chris Pesman, our new director of athletics, is in the back. Really excited about him and the expertise that he brings. He's a football guy. He understands it. Dr. Todd Shields is our chancellor. Not only is he a great leader, but I consider him a tremendous ally and resource and great friend. And then Dr. Brendan Kelly is our systems president. And all 3 of those individuals I'm really excited for the next journey of Arkansas State. The two individuals here today, I spoke about Brandon a little bit earlier, but first and foremost, it starts with our quarterback, Jalen Rayner. Jalen's going on his third year now as our starting quarterback. And I think it's a great illustration in the portal era. I was telling the story last night. Coming in here 3 years ago, we kind of had no idea who our quarterback was going to be. We took an individual in the portal, and Jalen was a high school early enrollee, and we started training camp. He was our third string quarterback. And we always talk about compete and never compare. Jalen just competed on a daily basis, continued to work every single day. And I think it was game 3, we kind of took a leap of faith in what we saw in practice. And we had our opening Sun Belt game against Southern Miss. And Jalen took over that starting role and has never relinquished being the starting quarterback. We talk about being a CEO quarterback. Playing quarterback is the ability to problem solve. And Jalen's the face of our team. He's our leader. And as he goes, our team goes. So excited about him. And in the age of transfers, Jalen has stayed with us. And I think it's his constant, never-ending growth. He can accomplish everything that he needs to accomplish at Arkansas State. And then the next individual who just came off of prom, he was so excited about his outfit, and he looks great, is Brandon Barnes, first-class individual, great family. His brother was the #1 linebacker in the state of Texas, signed with UT, is a freshman there, comes from a football family. And we're going to rely a lot. We're going to ask a lot out of Brandon. He has great competitive character, great internal drive, and he's going into his second year for us, first time as a full-year starter in the back end of our defense. So really, really excited about that. So I will pause and answer any questions that you all may have.
We've got a couple of questions on Zoom for our student athletes. First for Jalen, what were some of the lessons that you learned at the Manning Passing Academy?
The Manning Passing Academy, going for the second year in a row. It was a lot of fun, first of all. The players are great. The coaches you get to meet and get around. Like, for example, John Gruden was down there this year. And one main thing I took from John Gruden was, as a quarterback, he focuses on quickness. So he focused on 3 main quicknesses of mental quickness, body quickness, and arm quickness. He always talks about how you can't be quick enough as a quarterback, being able to process information, eliminate through your progressions and things like that. And then body quickness, that kind of ties into your footwork, being able to move in your progression, which kind of ties into the mental. And then your arm quickness, being able to get the ball out quick, making different angle throws and things like that. So the quickness, and then also just having a set routine for each day to maximize your time.
And for Brandon, what are some of the areas that you feel you've improved on the most this spring and summer?
First of all, I would say from a leadership standpoint, I've attacked the spring. I attacked the spring with the mindset to just grow closer to my teammates. I would say like the roles have changed, as Coach said. As a starter, you have to lead by example and lead from the front of the pack. So I think that would be the biggest thing, is the leadership.
Coach, Tyler Kennett from the Herald-Dispatch. From your perspective, just in this era with the turnover that can happen any given year, how much more valuable does it become to, retain your quarterback and have that connection in terms of, you talk about getting together as quick as possible. How big is it to retain that piece? It's
invaluable, and I think, it led to the retention of Corey Rucker, who we feel will be one of the premier wide receivers in all of college football. And the intangibles that these have together, Jaquez Cross, all these go hand in hand, and then Jalen even being critical in the recruiting process and the building of our defense. So anytime you can keep a player the stature of Jalen, great players want to play with great players. And, his belief in the program, where we're going, his belief in his continued growth and development and evolution at the quarterback position So all those things are invaluable in moving forward.
Another Zoom question from Dominic Cressetto. This is for Jalen. You wrap up the regular season on the road versus App State. What will it mean for you to return and play close to home in front of family and friends?
It would definitely be a lot of fun. It's about an hour 15 from where I'm from in Winston-Salem. So it'll be cool to get the family out, some hometown friends to the games. I have a few friends that actually go to App State. So it's going to be a lot of fun playing at home in front of the home crowd.
Coach Jones, Emmanuel Pappas, Sun Belt Conference. You touched a little bit on the culture and how you guys have been able to build to get to where you are now and looking to keep that momentum going. What are some of the intangibles, some of the things that maybe people don't see on an everyday basis from your staff and from the guys in the locker room that really contribute to where you've gotten to?
Great question. I always say it, we live in a sports-centered society. And what does that mean? That means that everyone wakes up, whether it's on their phones or watching TV, all you do is you see the success stories. But what you don't see is the work that goes behind the scenes to make those success stories. They don't see the 6 a.m. runs. They don't see our 4th and 1 program that we do every Wednesday with building trust and connection and resiliency and composure and all the things that make up and kind of comprise of who we are as a football program. So I think there's a lot of things that go into it. For us, this has really been a different year in terms of the building of our program. So it used to be the traditional model, the foundation of your football team, I always believed your toughness, your connection, all that was built throughout the course of spring football. Well, we now know that there's a second portal window. So what we've had to do with the inordinate amount of incoming players that we've had via whether high school players entering in June or portal players entering in June is we basically have had to recreate our culture building in terms of the month of June and July, and you can never assume anything. You can't take anything for granted. So we've really started at ground zero again from our connection, our trust, the expectations, our players understanding what winning football looks like and what does winning football look like on and off the field. We challenged our players in the spring academically. I think the way you win outside the locker room kind of tells you what type of investment, what type of culture you have. We followed up with the highest GPA we've had in the history of Arkansas State football. We're at a 3.22 overall GPA just for football. So we've put a lot of challenges in front of our football team, and as of to date, they've answered those. But like I tell our team, we're responsible for what we create on a daily basis, and we're still in the infant stages of really building our identity. And you really don't shape your identity as a football team until probably game 3 or game 4. That's kind of when your true identity comes to light.
Got a Zoom question from Chris Hutchison, and this is for Brandon. What do you like about working with new defensive coordinator Griff McCarley?
I love the fact that this is his first time he gets to be a coordinator, and we've been together before, and he's a good coach, and he makes sure that we are in position to be successful.
Got another Zoom question. This is for Coach and the 2 student athletes. You've got a big week 2 game that's going to be huge in the state of Arkansas. Is it difficult not to look ahead to that game?
Absolutely not. Again, when you look at our schedule, and I spoke about it earlier, everything is about scheduling, and Commissioner Gill continues to look upon it. I think you're hard-pressed to find a more difficult schedule. We open up against SEMO, who's been an FCS traditional power playoff team. That's going to be a great challenge. And then obviously you look at back-to-back games with Arkansas and Iowa State, having to go on the road in Atlanta and play Kennesaw, and then right away still have 2 games before a bye week with conference play. So it's going to be a great challenge. So the big thing for us is just winning every single day. It's not coach speak. It's truly what it is. We have to be a better football team each and every day, and the fundamentals and the details, again, is players understanding what winning football looks like, the discipline, the details. But again, I'll say it, if you look at all the conference realignment, and you look at everywhere going from coast to coast and everybody expanding their markets, to be able to play your traditional non-conference games in state, I think that is imperative for really the state of college football and the health of our industry. To be able to go play in our state capital against the University of Arkansas, and you look at the excitement, you look at the revenue that it's going to bring, the entire state comes to one place for a weekend. Is it going to be a great challenge for us? Absolutely, it's going to be a great challenge for us. But I think it's a great opportunity for us, and it's truly a great opportunity for the entire state of Arkansas.
And
Like
for
Coach said-
For
like Coach
Jalen
said,
and Brandon, how excited are you to be the first Arkansas State team to have the chance to take on the Razorbacks?
Definitely, it's a great opportunity to look forward to. But like Coach said, you can't get too focused on things you can't control or you're not preparing for at this exact moment. Right now, our eyes are kind of focused and on to fall camp and just winning each day. You can't win versus Arkansas today or tomorrow, so you have to focus on each day, maximize each day, and kind of put all your effort into today to maximize and build on each day to be the best version of ourselves on that day.
I would say there is some excitement about being able to play a team like Arkansas, but at the same time, here in our program, we talk a lot about being where our feet are, and you can only worry about one day at a time, how you can get better that day instead of looking days ahead. So, you know, that's in the future. You know, we looking forward to it, but at the same time, we just working on ourselves.
Definitely, the tight end room has come a long way. I think we have competitive depth in that room, and you can tell they really, really like each other. They're always competing. And then, of course, when they're not competing or even when somebody makes a play in that room, they're always the first people on the field running down to celebrate with each other. So they all have different play styles. They all can do multiple things, run routes, block, catch the ball. So I'm excited for the tight end room this year and see what those guys can bring to the table this year.
And then just a quick one for both the players. Coach mentioned, you know, the game against Iowa State. What does it mean to have your brand of football broadcasted on the big stage, ESPN2? You know, what does it mean to you guys to have those games broadcasted on the biggest stage?
It's something you look forward to as a college football player. You want to have those big games. You want to have the bright lights on and those big moments to have the ball in your hand, or for Brandon's perspective, have the ball in the offense's hand where you have to make a big stop to win the game and things like that. So, you know, we're preparing for those big moments right now, and that's what we look forward to. That's what makes college football so great and so fun. And we're super excited to have them come to Jonesboro, Arkansas.
It's an honor to be able to play a good team like Iowa State, and we look forward to having those big opportunities and, you know, just to be able to put our name and our brand on the map.
Coach, Jeremy Harper with Hellraiser. Last year, the Sun Belt West was so competitive, a lot of teams vying for that number one position. What was the position group that you thought needed to step up most last year, and has it made improvements over the offseason?
Well, I think you're exactly right. When you look at our side and really you look at the overall depth of our conference, and I think that's what makes it challenging, and that's why I think this is the most complete, most comprehensive group of 6 football conference in the country. You know, I always say it's a very similar to a mini SEC, that there are no bad programs, there are no bad teams. Every time you go on the road, every team has a distinct home field advantage, and Commissioner Gill spoke about that with the winning percentage with home teams. So I think it's a challenge. So you have to be creative. You know, you're always looking for a competitive advantage, a competitive edge. For us, we're going to win with play character. We're going to win with style of play. and we're going to win with connection. And I think the connection is the biggest missing piece in today's world of the transient part of college football. When you look at our side, I've said it, I joked, but really the reigning Sun Belt champion is Southern Miss. And I'll put pressure on Coach Huff, my dear friend, but, that team at Marshall's at Southern Miss. And so they've completely elevated their game and elevated our conference. And, it's a conference that you have to bring your A game each and every week. And I said it, is nobody plays a non-conference schedule like our conference. And again, you're not buying records to be 4-0 in our conference. And Commissioner Gill said it, in terms of the college football playoff and the strength of scheduling, a lot that goes into that. And so, what that does is the intangibles that you have in your program, to really be able to bounce back. I go back, really, our culture was born 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we had to open up at the University of Oklahoma. I'm sorry, it was our second game of the year. We had to go to University of Oklahoma. And I call that the Oklahoma experience. And it's probably the most miserable day I've ever had in coaching. And we got beat 80-something to 7 or something like that. And little do people understand that you never know, especially at the beginning of the year, really the dynamics of each team. Well, they had Dylan Gabriel. They had a bunch of individuals that they were able to add to the portal. So the team that you saw on video the year before was not the team that we faced. And it was very embarrassing. But that's when our culture was born. Because I did not know this at the time, but when we got back to Jonesboro, it was 9 p.m. at night, and our players called a team meeting, players-only meeting, but it wasn't a meeting, it was in the weight room. And they had about an hour and a half workout in our weight room. And our culture won because we were able to go to our first bowl game. And really, that's when I sat back and I knew we're on the right path, because of those intangibles that we talk about within our program. And those are necessary to win, and that's going to be vital for this team to see how we come together. And there's a lot of onus on these two individuals here today to ensure that, we can do everything we can to be an extremely connected football team.
Coach Jones and our student athletes will be available for one-on-ones. Coach, guys, we appreciate it. Good luck to you this season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wolves up.
In about 2 minutes, we will